Hello, welcome to MTG Pro Tutor. I'm Sean Penrod, your host, and today we're going to open this Cons of Tarkir booster pack and evaluate the cards inside. Let's dive right in and see what we get. Alright, so right off the bat, I take out the marketing card, which in this case is a morph token, very useful to have in Paper Magic. Take out the land, and then our rare, Hardened Scales. Okay. So Hardened Scales is an enchantment. I actually got this card as my promo card when I went to the pre-release. For 1 green, it says if 1 or more +1/+1 counter would be placed on a creature you control, that many +1 +1/+1 counters are placed on it instead. So basically all it means is add 1 counter. If something would get 2 counters, it gets 3 instead. If something would get 1 counter, it gets 2 instead. That's all it means. So this is great in Obzon because when the creatures with Outlast start using their Outlast ability, this will tick them up really fast. I had Hardened Scales and the Retribution of the Ancients enchantment, and so I was able to build up tokens or counters and then use those counters to kill things. It was great. So I definitely like this. However, it is monocolor, so that is nice. And there are other ways to put +1/+1 counters on creatures, but Outlast is kind of the main focus of this card. So while I do like it, I don't know if it's going to be a first pick because you're going to kind of have to build around it. If you take this on your first pick, you're definitely going to favor cards that give you +1/+1 counters, and then keep in mind that there's only going to be 1 copy of this in your deck, so you may not get it, and this is significantly worse the later you get it in the game. If you have this in your opening hand, that's great. You can play it. It's just sitting there. You're really not playing anything else relevant on turn 1. But on turn 2 and 3 and 4, you're definitely going to want to be playing creatures. You don't want to be spending the time, to play Hardened Scales. You want this kind of out. The sooner the better. So, Wetland Sandbar, 2/1 for 2 mana. So, definitely not high. Definitely not a high pick. Valley Dasher is alright, just swings in for 2 every turn. If they don't have anything to block it, then he can definitely get some damage in. However, green has the Archer's Parapet, black has the Disowned Ancestor. Both are very early drops that basically blank this guy. Somebody played Valley Dasher against me, and I had a Disowned Ancestor out, so all I did was outlast it twice, and then they had to attack, so I blocked and killed it. So I was willing to take the damage in order to take this guy out. But you can set up some tricks and stuff if you're able to, play some enchantments or whatever to make this guy big. But I mean, he's great for your aggressive Mardu deck. So that's right where he fits. Erase, probably good to have 1 in your sideboard. You definitely don't need to main deck 1. Tygam's Scheming, not a big fan so far, for 2 mana. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put any number of them into your graveyard, and the rest back on top of your library in any order. So, I mean, if you are heavy in Delve, then this is a great way to fill your yard, because not only does Tygam's Scheming go into your yard, so that's 1, you can put anywhere between, 1 to 5 cards in your yard. So you can get anywhere from 1 to 6 cards in your yard on 1 turn. So that's pretty big. And then with those cards in your yard, you can be able to delve pretty soon. So it does have its place, but I just haven't seen it come together yet. Speaking of delving, here you have Hooting Mandrills, which is a 4/4 trample with the delve, and they do cost 6. So for every card you exile, you can reduce that cost by 1, or rather, it pays for 1 of the colorless. Rite of the Serpent, not bad. It's very expensive at 6 mana. However, it just straight up destroys any creature. And then, if that creature had a +1/+1 counter, you get a pretty nifty snake, a pretty nifty 1/1 snake. I really like this token. It's pretty cool looking. Again, so I actually wouldn't mind main decking 1 of these if you are in black, because it does have 2 black symbols, so that's kind of hefty. Mardu Banner, not a fan. I like playing morphs instead of banners. Highland Game, another 2/1 for 2. That kind of seems to be the theme of the Elks. Only this one has a little bit of upside. When it dies, you get 2 life. So I would much rather play Highland Game over Wetland Sandbar. So Swiftwater Cliffs. This is blue-red. Comes into play tapped. You gain 1 life. What's neat about this is that it is it is an enemy pair, which means it supports 2 clans. You can play it in Jeskai, which is red, white, and blue. Huya America. Or you could play it in Temur, which is green, blue, red. So this supports 2 clans. So these are valued higher. These are you want to take these earlier than the dual lands that only support, that are allied colors. So Karu Dreadmaw, I really haven't seen this guy, find his place. A 4/4 for 5 mana, 4/4 defender for 5 mana. I think is a bit steep. And then you pay 2, sack a creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. So you want, bigger toughness things, but you could block, and then before combat you can sacrifice that creature and get life equal to his toughness. So you could set up some cute things, but spending 5 mana just to get this guy out is a bit much. Master of the Way is a is a sorcery for 3. Sorry. Master of the Way. Sorry, Master of the Way sounds like a creature. Master of the Way is a sorcery for 5 mana where you draw a card, and Master of the Way deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of cards in your hand. Okay, so that's very interesting. The bigger your hand, the better this card is. It is a 5-drop though, so how many cards are in your hand by turn 5? It does put 1 card in your hand, kind of replacing Master of the Way. I'm definitely not going to take this highly, but if I was in blue-red, I might give it a shot. Highspire Mantis. So in our pack yesterday we had a Mantis as a rare. Here we have a Mantis as our uncommon. It is a 3/3 flying trample for 4. So very interesting. Flying and trample. So that's going to be pretty upsetting to deal with. This can go into Mardu or Jeskai. Both like red-white. And finally we have Frontier Bivouac. These are the Temur colors. I definitely like these lands. These lands should probably go pick 3 or 4, is my guess. Somebody by that point is going to be in 2 of these 3 colors and are definitely going to want these. So on your first 2 picks, take the best cards that are there, and then on picks 3 and 4, definitely look for some lands to support the 2 colors that you've taken. Alright, so Highspire Mantis, very interesting. However, it is a gold card, which makes me a little uneasy to take it. I like taking creatures first. However, the Hardened Scales, since it is not a gold card, can go into quite a few different clans. And there are other ways, not just Outlast, to give you +1/+1 counters. Again, keep in mind though that this is better the earlier you play it. So keep that in mind. I think the best creature here is probably the Highspire Mantis. 3/3 flying trample. That's pretty good for 4 mana. Hooting Mandrills is also excellent. 4/4 trample for 6 mana, but you do have Delve, so I like that. I think on this pack we'll take the Hardened Scales. I really liked them. Liked it the last time we played. My idea behind this is it's not a gold card, and you can kind of build around this, looking for opportunities to give your creatures +1/+1. Maybe look for a couple ways to draw, just so that you can draw into this card a little quicker. As far as creatures though, if I was to first pick a creature, I would take the Hooting Mandrills, and second pick would be the Highspire Mantis. So there you have it. Let me know what you think. I love hearing your thoughts and discussing Cons of Tarkir. I'm Sean Penrod, and we'll see you in the next pack.